Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of the ANZTB SIGiST series. Today, we've got a very special guest from ISCI, which is the International Software Qualifications Institute, Software Quality Institute, and effectively, like, there's a brand new kind of breed of testing certifications out there now, and there's a whole kind of range of new tools, and I'm sure you'll all be kind of delving into the world of AI to help you with your testing and probably also testing AI itself. And so as part of this series, we are going to be taking a look at the ISCI A4Q Practical Tester. It's a certification, and it heavily utilizes a really cool AI tool to help you improve your testing. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Debbie Archer. Debbie is the Managing Director of ISCI, part of the ISCI group of companies. She has more than 20 years of experience in the training and certification industry, having developed a passion for learning and development during her early career at British Telecom and DHL. Now, as a director responsible for delivery of certification programs and corporate solutions at the British Computing Society, Debbie developed a keen interest in the world of software quality and joined ISCI as a leading certification body in this area. She's an active contributor to ISTQB and part of both the processes and marketing working groups. She, in her personal life, is also keen on theatre, and she's a keen cinema goer, loves cooking and eating, and is a doting grandmother, although you'd never be able to tell. So without further ado, I'll bring in Debbie. Hi, Debbie.
Hi there, Stuart. Hi, thank you for that very warm welcome. And hello to everybody who's tuning in, both live and anyone who might watch a recording of this. Thank you.
Great. Well, we're really lucky to have you here today, Debbie. We really appreciate your time. I know it's super early in the UK right now, where you're coming to us from. So appreciate the early start, and without further ado, I'll hand over to you to give your presentation. So
thank you so much, Stuart. Thank you.
So what we will do is Debbie will present for around about 20 minutes, and then for any questions, we'll have a Q&A after that. Okay. Debbie, perfect. Over to you. Thanks so much.
That's lovely. Stuart, pop back in if there's any problems and just let me know, but hopefully this is all showing on screen okay. So first of all, again, thank you so much to the ANZTB for inviting me to present today. This is a little bit of a different presentation perhaps to some of the usual SIGiST presentations, in as much as it is about a product, but it's about a product which I hope will add value and which will be of interest to everybody. As a bit of background, we recently did an event in Sydney, and it was part of a global A4Q roadshow, which has got about 30 stops around the world. And my ISCI CEO, Stefan Gorica, and our VP of Sales, Erica Pash, presented Practical Tester, and they had such wonderful feedback. And I think it inspired ANZTB to say, okay, let's try to include it in the SIGiST to share the message a bit more. And I know that that was further reinforced following an event in Melbourne, where Stuart was just telling me people were playing with Practical Tester and experiencing, one, its learning power, if you like, but secondly, just how much fun it is to play with. It's a great tool. So just want to add to that ANZTB are endorsing this product, and I'll talk a little bit about how it complements ISTQB as we go through the presentation. And it's not just ANZTB who've recognised that Practical Tester really has its place in actually supporting skills development for testers. Other ISTQB national boards around the world have also endorsed it, and I'll show a slide later just to show the scale of this thing. A lot of logos on this slide. We've got the ISQI, ANZTB and A4Q. So we'll clarify a little bit about these organisations because I know it's really confusing. So ANZTB, I hope everybody who's tuning in are aware of the Australia-New Zealand Testing Board. They are in effect the ISTQB in Australia and New Zealand and responsible for provision of exams, which they do through ISQI, and also the accreditation of training providers. The folks at ANZTB are also very active in ISTQB, contributing to multiple working groups and helping develop the syllabus and also things like the glossary and the body of knowledge. As I mentioned, ISCI is the only officially authorised exam provider to ANZTB for ISTQB exams. I've popped the obligatory ISTQB portfolio here on the right-hand side, and just want to say that all of these exams are available from ISQI. We do support the ANZTB with every exam, so this is a collaboration which is very beneficial to ANZTB in the local community. The exam's available through Pearson VUE and Remote Proctor, and you can find the syllabi for this or look at booking your exam via the ANZTB website or the ISCI website. Just to add, that portfolio diagram needs an update. ISTQB are working on that at the moment because there are a couple of new products that need to be included. One of the things I must say is that when you certify with ISCI, because of our collaboration with ANZTB, you will be listed on both the ISTQB Successful Candidate Register if you pass the exam, and also the ANZTB Certified Tester list, and you'll get the official ANZTB certificate. You have the advantage of online exams sample exams being available, and I know we get great feedback about these. So anybody who is preparing as an example for your ISTQB Foundation, have a look at the websites and go follow the links to the online samples. It gives you an experience of the actual exam platform, as well as being able to practice in readiness for your live test. We have digital badges and access to something called Skills Club, which is an online community where we share a lot of content and information. I must say quickly that also available is TMMI. The ANZTB is a TMMI chapter, and also IREB qualifications, which are in the field of requirements engineering. Both TMMI and IREB have memorandums of understanding with ISTQB and are seen as complementary certifications, bringing in skills which actually are useful for software testers. Quickly on to A4Q. A4Q was established several years ago. ISCI was involved in establishing it, and we recognised that there were perhaps some gaps in the market, certifications that were very relevant to software testers, but nobody was doing them formally, as an example, Selenium. And then we added in some other curriculum around Appium, SDET, business analysis, service design, which is a very exciting part of the portfolio at the moment, and of course, practical tester. A4Q likes to add value. So established several years ago something called the A4Q Summit, and we've been very fortunate to have people from the ANZTB supporting us with this. It's a free online event, and it will be happening in 2025 on the 3rd of June. So please watch out for that. It's free and you can dip in and out of it as you please. Also SQ Mag, and again we've had contributors from Australia and New Zealand, and SQ Mag, a free digital publication which is available, and I'll include a link somewhere so you can go and have a little look at that. So let's look at Practical Tester. As I say, it's an AI-driven tool, and it gives a dynamic feedback. It really helps with learning. But why did we develop it? Because, there are lots of other certifications and lots of other learning opportunities for testers out there in the market. Well, let's have a think about the market, first of all, and about skills. And we do a lot of these events, and as a part of the Conquest Roadshow, we've been traveling around the world talking to the local community and to employers. And a piece of feedback that we're getting, and I think also if you look at the statistics and research in a lot of countries, is that there is a skill shortage looming, or there is a skill shortage. And when we're looking at product in A4Q, we're considering both the local and also the global perspectives. What are the current standards? What are the approaches and methods that are driving the development of skills in the software testing industry at the moment? And just going back to Australia, I took a look yesterday at the occupation shortage list, the OSL, which I think was called formerly the skills priority list. And it was quite interesting because it showed across multiple states in Australia that there was a shortage of software testing people. And they gave multiple reasons for this. And they used a term which I thought was quite interesting called the suitability gap. So they're saying there's enough applicants perhaps for jobs in theory. And in theory, there are a lot of people who are qualified. But the employers are saying that actually they're not regarded as suitable because perhaps they don't have the employability skills that they're looking for, meaning that they've not had the experience and can't necessarily show they can apply those skills. There's also perhaps amongst employers perceived mismatch in skills. So are people developing the skills which they think employers need, but perhaps the employers are saying that's not necessarily what we're looking for in this particular job role? One of the things that I also hear, and this is a little bit of a controversial one in some way, so I need to think about how I say it perhaps, but when we look at tertiary education and some of the graduates that are coming out, are they actually workplace ready? Do they have the skills which employers actually want and need? There's also a thing to consider with how organizations are changing their approach to hiring, perhaps. What are they looking for in the CV? And there is a shift towards much more skills-based hiring. One of the things that we talk about a little bit is that employers, when they're looking at this skills gap, is how they are moving from being consumers of talent, meaning that they were used to perhaps just going out to the market and finding people who could easily recruit. They're perhaps moving because there's a limited pool of what they're looking for, and it's often expensive to recruit. Perhaps now moving more towards being creators of talent and developing from within. And it's one of the reasons why having a tool such as Practical Tester is really useful in the field of software testing, because of course it's experiential and it's helping people to develop the skills that the employer perhaps needs. A4Q want to stay at the forefront of technology, and one of the things that A4Q recognized was that AI is influencing the learning and development field significantly, creating learning on demand, creating personalized learning experiences, involving dynamic feedback loops. So, how am I doing? And the AI can help support that. The Practical Tester is very much about harnessing the power of AI to support skills development. And I think I'm going to dare to say it, helping to develop competence as well. And that word competence is perhaps, more aligned to what employers are looking at. A4Q recognized that as a certification body, it was very important for us to support the careers of individuals and support the needs of organizations to upskill and cross-skill. And hence, we're doing this for, what the market is looking for now, and hopefully we'll carry on developing the product so we can look into the future as well. One of the things I must mention is AEST-QB. As I said earlier, AEST-QB is the de facto standard for certification and software testing. I think now it's over 1.4 million people who've taken an AEST-QB exam, and it's 934,000, I think, certified individuals. So it is very much what is considered to be the certification. I think in Australia and New Zealand, if you look at job sites such as Seek and Indeed, a lot of those ads will include, we're looking for somebody who's AEST-QB certified. Now, for those people out there who are thinking that certification isn't the be-all and end-all, of course it isn't. And, it's just one of the attributes, if you like, that can support a CV when you're applying for jobs, having the AEST-QB in there. There's a lot more to it. As I said earlier, employers are looking for a good match. They're looking for skills and making sure that actually, the skills are what they need. The A4Q tester, A4Q Practical Tester, is complementary to the AEST Certified Tester Foundation level. It's really important to say this. We have multiple discussions going on with AEST at the moment, and as I've mentioned, support from so many of the AEST member boards. So it is not competing with AEST, it is very much complementary. And when I say complementary, there are some specific things within the AEST Certified Tester Foundation level which it really does support. For those of you who are familiar with the AEST, they use something called the Bloom's taxonomy and something called K levels. And essentially it's looking at how you acquire a level of knowledge and an ability to apply that knowledge. Within the AEST certification, foundation level certification, we have K3 levels, which means that you not only can recall and understand something, but you can apply it. And the practical tester allows you to demonstrate that you can apply the theory, which is an AEST, in a practical scenario. So if you like, it's looking at taking theory to practical knowledge and know-how. One of the things that we must consider is the format of the examination. So AEST is multiple choice, and there are many certification schemes which use multiple choice. And I have to say, multiple choice has its place. It is not an easy option. Multiple choice is not an easy option, which is sometimes what I hear from people. It's not at all. And if we look again at Bloom's levels, it can actually examine to quite a high level within Bloom's. Multiple choice has its place and is very effective in what we call summative assessment and verification of knowledge. They set a good benchmark and verify understanding. Really good. But they've not focused as much. It's more difficult to focus perhaps on the practical skills. And this is where A4Q Practical Tester comes in. It is much more of a written form of response. It's short answer. Well, you can do as long as you like, actually. It's short answer, and it means that you're actually writing your response and the AI is testing it. You don't have the A, B, C, D choices and answer in 3 distractors to choose from, which would be the typical format. So when we're looking at MCQ, A4Q thought, what can be improved? And that was let people show their knowledge by actually writing it down and giving them the opportunity to actually include what they know and show that they can apply. So it's quite a big differentiator for the practical tester and an important one. We also went out to market and we asked employers and also training providers who are pretty important stakeholders in this ecosystem, if you like, because they are meeting people who are looking to develop skills. And they came back with what I think is a resounding conclusion: more practical, more practical, more practical, more practical. Real-world examples give us the chance to do more hands-on practice, and interestingly, please make the exam more practical. So what did we do? We were keen to move from a knowledge-based training and assessment process to a skills and competency-based approach. And this is really important for us because, as I say, we want to have a certification scheme which is very it's industry recognized and which is actually satisfying the needs of employers and trying to help software testers to show that actually, even though it may not be the kind of experience that you have in job, and please, you know, we understand that employability skills go beyond being able to show that you can apply some of the black box techniques in software testing. Of course, it's, you know, a much more holistic approach to skills there that employers are looking for with communication and problem solving, etc. But from the point of view of testing skills, we want to move to show them that you have got a certification that shows you have applied the knowledge. If you think about the AEST Certified Tester Foundation level, which is theory-based, and also having something like the practical tester, then actually, you know, we'd say it's a little bit like a driving license where, you know, you can show, I know the theory and I've shown I can apply it. As I mentioned, we considered how AI is changing the learning and development landscape, and wanted to harness that power to make sure that learners weren't just being able to see, okay, here's a technique, they could apply it, but also get some meaningful feedback, which I think is very important. So it's a new form of assessment. It's no longer multiple choice. It is a little bit ahead of the game there, and it's saying, okay, what is it that I did well? What is it that I'm perhaps not understanding? Tell me more about that, and then give me a chance to apply it again. So the future is here, is what A4Q like to say. We have this new practical tester. Forgive me. This new practical tester, both learning tool and certification exam. I'll explain what we mean by that. The learning tool, it gives you access to not just exercises, but it's giving you access to a lot of information which is very aligned to the AEST foundation level. So it's complementary. And then the certification exam. The certification exam also uses the AI. So it's actually inviting you to give your responses, and then it's marking it. But just to reassure people that before we actually make a certification decision, we do have some people, experts who are verifying everything. So we know that it's absolutely, from a certification point of view, we know that we're certifying correctly and adhering to some of the rules of the standards, such as ISO 17024, which is very important to those of us who are in the certification industry. So just going to move on quickly here and show you a little video, which I hope will render.
As a software tester, understanding testing terms, concepts, and techniques is fundamental to your success. However, what will truly differentiate you is the ability to apply your knowledge effectively and efficiently, not just to detect defects, but to add value and contribute to the team and organization in ensuring quality products. This is where the A4Q Practical Tester program can set you apart. The powerful AI-driven A4Q Practical Tester application accelerates learning with real-world scenarios and comprehensive feedback mechanisms. It equips you with the necessary skills and hands-on experience to excel in your profession. The A4Q Practical Tester certification exam uniquely validates your know-how. The A4Q Practical Tester application is designed to be user-friendly and easy to use, ensuring a seamless learning experience. The application's expertly curated content, along with its AI guidance, bridges the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical competence. The app is designed to help you become proficient in utilizing essential testing techniques and expand your skill set. Master the art of applying black box testing techniques to efficiently create and execute effective test cases. Apply estimation techniques accurately and prepare comprehensive defect reports. Identify and address issues early in the development lifecycle with strategies such as test case prioritization and acceptance test-driven development. The A4Q Practical Tester perfectly complements the world-leading AEST Certified Tester Foundation Level certification by deepening the understanding gap so you can apply it in real-world scenarios. Our competency-based approach means you'll actively use the concepts you learn, building true expertise. The A4Q Practical Tester app provides a simulated AI-driven environment to practice, make mistakes, receive feedback, and gain mastery. If you're ready to elevate your testing career, A4Q Practical Tester, combined with your AEST knowledge, is the key. Enhance your skills, boost your confidence, and become the in-demand tester that businesses need. Visit our website to learn more.
So thank you very much for sticking with me during the video, reiterating a little bit of what I've said, but I think the team are very proud of that, hence they wanted to include it in here. So we're going to see it in action. You can see it's an interactive learning tool. As the video talked about there, it gives you dynamic feedback, very important, so you can evaluate progress and you can really focus on practicing. The content, we're sometimes asked about, how the content is created. We're very lucky to have access to software testing professionals and engineers around the world, and we've brought together a team who are well qualified to share information. As we say, it's based on content from the ANZTB foundation level or line 2, which is useful. So let's see it quickly in action. We've got black box techniques in here. This is showing you equivalence partitioning. As you can see, we're writing in our answer and then it's giving us a score, and it's telling us what we did well, which is really useful and good to see. Here, perhaps we're not giving such a good response. Again, the system is evaluating and looking at what response we've given, and it's giving us some recommendations here as well as telling us what we did well. Finally, the defect reports. And as you can see, we're writing our defect report here based on the scenario, and the AI is going to evaluate our response, and I didn't do too well with that one, as you can see. It's told me where I need to focus my learning. And within the tool, you can go back and you can actually look at content which will help you to learn, so you're ready to try again. The exam structure, 60-minute exam. It's open-ended questions, as I've already mentioned, so it's free text. You need 65% to pass, and there are 15 questions, which seems quite a low number of questions. But remember, you're not looking at multiple choice. You're having to actually write your answer and really think about things. What are the partitions in the AVA questions? It's an example. So, it's quite intense, but it's about applying knowledge. So in summary, this was, a response to market demand. We're hearing from employers, we're hearing from test managers that they wanted something which is much more practical, real-world scenarios. The AI feedback is very, very useful with open-ended exam questions and a focus on practical skills and trying to develop competencies. It's complementary to AEST and is really adding value. Foundation level AEST is not a prerequisite, but it will give the theory and it's highly recommended. And as I mentioned, it's adopted and supported by AEST boards around the world, just a few of them on here. I think now there are 69 AEST boards, and I believe there are well over 30 who are saying this product is really helping and supporting. Futures and stop here. We've already translated this tool into French and German. We've got Spanish and other languages coming up. The really exciting things coming, actually. We've added some new functionality for training providers. So if there are any training providers tuning in, please do contact me and I can arrange some access and show you how it actually supports your training for AEST, and there's much more to come. So thank you. I've added a couple of QR codes there, which you're very welcome to click on. They'll tell you about the tool and also about the certification exam. So thank you very much. Stuart, I think I've gone a little bit over there, but perhaps you can bring me back onto screen now.
Yep, that was perfect, perfectly timed. Thank you, Debbie. That's really innovative, and it sounds like it's really picking up a lot of momentum throughout the world now.
Yeah, it is. We're seeing a lot of interest in it. I think it's at first people a little bit skeptical. How can you use AI to certify, and is it really at a point where the AI is ready as well? How reliable is it? But we're seeing good interest, and we're seeing, as an example, training providers are now looking at it, and they're saying that actually the feedback that we've had from the organizations who are employing testers is similar, i.e. they want to have that complementary certification which says you have experience as well as you have the theory, and it's really important. So yeah, we're very excited about it, and let's see what next.
Yeah, and like we were discussing before we came into the broadcast, that we were down at testing talks in Melbourne last month, and we had the A4Q Practical Tester on a number of laptops on our ANZTB stand, and it was really popular. People were getting right into it, and I don't think they've ever seen anything like it before, to be honest, in terms of, you know, the AI instant response to how they can improve the answers to their questions, etc. One question for me, would it be possible, is there a standalone tool that organizations or employees can actually use to test out their own knowledge without doing the actual exam?
Oh, yeah. So, the Practical Tester product comes in two parts as a learning tool. People are quite welcome to access the learning tool. Of course, there's a fee. It's actually not a huge fee for that. I think if I put it into Australian dollars and I'm working my head, it's about 99 euros typically for the tool. That's available from the AEST website. You can get to that from the ANZTB website also. So yeah, very welcome to use the tool and to practice and have some fun. I'll share something with you. We did a train the trainer for, I think it was 17 training providers, trainers, AEST trainers a couple of months ago. And it was, you know, looking at how the tool could complement training as TQB foundation level or as a standalone training. And I have to say the enthusiasm of these trainers was just so inspiring. And they were a little bit naughty though. They were trying to break the AI. So, you know, we're answering questions in the tool, but they're also going to Copilot and they're typing it in to see what, you know, what comes up in Copilot and comparing the difference. It's really good fun. But it is really focused as well. So, you know, when you're actually going through using the tool, you find that you're quite keen to go on to the next exercise and the next exercise, you know, so it's making, you know, it's, if you think about modern day learning, it's addressing some of that need. And from the training provider's perspective, you know, to actually introduce it into your training course, you know, it is really helping the student to take what you're teaching them, the instructor sharing, put it into practice, but then also an opportunity for the trainer to coach. So not only have you got the AI feedback, but you've got the coach there too. But you don't need to necessarily go on a training course. Organizations can just offer the tool to individuals to say, I want you to get some practice here. Practice with those black box techniques, practice with creating your test plans, just go and practice. That's fine. And people then can do the exam at a later date or not at all. I mean, we'd like to see them get certified, of course, but it's not mandatory.
Yep, excellent. Yeah, it just sounds like a great tool to be able to, if people have got a team of testers in an existing organization, whether they're interviewing someone new into the team, they could potentially use the tool as part of their interview process, or just for the team in general to upskill them in stuff that they may already know, but just to get to the next level, etc. And just to see how they, you know, get the feedback to improve themselves.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, Stuart, to use it as part of an interview process.
Well, you could, couldn't you?
I didn't know
there's a lot of
that.
organizations, well, that would always be interviewing people, like large organizations, to get the right people in. And, you know, qualifications are obviously super important. And just in terms of the qualification, is there value in having both the AEST foundation level and the A4Q Practical Tester certifications?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you know, the kind of the concept is akin to the driving license. So, you know, we all do our theory part of the driving license. You know, are we aware of the hazards? Do we understand the signage? You know, so compare that to AEST. Do you understand the language? Yeah, so that common language, and understand the basic theory of some of the techniques and the application. And then, of course, the practical tester says, yeah, actually, you've not only understood it, you're not just recalling calling, but you're showing you can apply it. Yeah, and it is rigorous. You know, I mentioned that the exam is 15 questions and it's 60 minutes. And I guess some people would say, can you really show that you can apply in 15 questions and 60 minutes? But actually, it's rigorous. Yeah, and because it's not multiple choice, you can't have a lucky guess. You have to show you know. Yeah, and you can apply. So I think very much complementary. And, you know, I'd like to think that moving forward, that people would be keen to say, yes, I've got my theory, I've got my AEST/QB CTFL, and I've got my practical, the A4Q Practical Tester.
Yeah, perfect as a candidate to have both, right? Are we seeing more employers asking for this certification, or is it still pretty early days?
It's early days, but it's early days, but we've got employers talking to us, absolutely. And if there are employers who are tuning in now and thinking, actually, this could be of interest, or test managers thinking about their team, or, you know, then contact me, because, you know, we can organise for you to have perhaps some access, so you can test it yourselves and see how it feels. So yeah, early days, and because it's quite revolutionary as well. You know, we're doing a lot of sharing about it in the moment, but I have to say, where people are trialing it and testing it, the feedback is absolutely fabulous. As you said about Testing Talk, Stuart, you know, once people have got their hands on it and they're using it, the feedback's great. And I say this, it's just good fun too. You know, for a tester who's even quite a seasoned tester, you know, as I saw with these trainers, it's actually quite good fun. It's almost competing with the AI, maybe.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned how some people are looking, obviously, as testers, we're looking to try and break things. And so in terms of the AI, one question a lot of people might have is like, how reliable is the AI?
Yeah, well, as you can imagine, you know, this has been tested and tested and tested and tested.
Yeah, I'd expect it. Yeah.
I'll share a little anecdote, you know, because everybody says, okay, the learning of the AI and making sure that it's staying, you know, within the frame, you know, can be sometimes a little bit dubious, but actually from the results that we've had, it's behaving incredibly well. There's a very famous person in the world of testing, and I'm not going to name him necessarily, he's based in the Netherlands, who was presenting about the AI and the reliability. And something he said about A4Q Practical Tester, which resonated with me, was, look, you know, okay, so maybe it's 95, 99%, you know, accurate, and maybe sometimes there's a little flaw in there, which as testers we want to find, we want to identify that. He said, but you know, if I'm learning, then I feel more secure using a tool that has that level of accuracy than perhaps saying to, you know, my best friend sitting at work, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, how should I apply this technique? I've done the AEST/QB Certified Tester Foundation level. Now I really want to use it in the workplace. Maybe using the A4Q Practical Tester to actually enhance your learning, it might be a little bit better than talking to somebody who perhaps is doing things just based on what they've always known. Yeah. So, and you know, is that an argument for the using the AI? Not necessarily, but what it's saying is that if you want to practice and use something which is going to actually take you down the right path, then this is probably the best option at the moment.
Yeah. It's like your best friend that sat there who has an absolute kind of world library of knowledge on software testing right there for you. And is the tool kind of set up in a way that it's kind of modularized? So if you do have something on, you know, defect management process or requirements traceability or, you know, environment management or whatever, is it segmented so that, you know, if you did think, oh, what would be the right answer, can you go into those sections and
not so easily? Not so easily. How the AI is actually rendering the scenarios to you is not broken down to that level. Yeah, but what I can say is that there are a lot of scenarios in there. It's almost infinite, actually. So I'd say No, but I will take that away with me and ask if there are plans moving forward to give it more modularization. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something for me to go and check with the guys.
Yeah. Always continuous improvement, like everyone in every workplace, right? And just a final question: is it mandated to use the A4Q Practical Tester tool to be eligible to take the certification exam?
No, not at all. No, people are very welcome to try the certification exam. I'd say that the tool obviously will give you the same type of experience as the exam itself. So if people are used to doing multiple choice type exams, then that's not what you're going to see in the practical tester. Yeah, it's not like that. As you saw from the examples I showed you within the tool, the exam is much the same. You have to actually kind of think about it. But no, it's open to people who haven't necessarily practiced with the tool. So if you're a tester and you want to have a go, then you're more than welcome to take the certification. Yeah, it does build on AEST knowledge. Yeah, so if you are AEST certified, it builds on that, saying, okay, apply what you know here. So, in theory, you can just go straight for the certification.
Yep. Excellent. Okay, well, we're just about at time, Debbie. I just want to say thanks so much for your time. Fantastic presentation, really informative, and like you said, ANZTB, we fully endorse this product, so we're really excited to see the uptake in the market for this product and the exam, and yeah, look forward to working with you in the future on further developments of it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Stuart, and thank you for people who are watching. As I say, it's a little bit different to normal SIGiST, and it is product, but I hope that I've been able to give a little bit of a flavour of what this is and why ANZTB felt it was important to include it. And not based on the excitement that we've seen of anybody who has seen it. So anybody interested, get in touch with me and or with the board, and we'll share some further information. Lovely to see you, Stuart, as always.
All right. Thank you, Debbie. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. And finally, we are going to have a few more SIGiSTs from the ANZTB in the new year. So look forward to those, be in January, February time. We look forward to you joining us for that then. All right. Signing off now. Take care, everybody. Keep safe. See you next time.